In 1978, Every Which Way But Loose set the world abuzz with laughter, thrilling chase scenes, and a cast of unforgettable characters etched into moviegoers' memories. But 47 years later, those familiar faces have changed so much they might leave you stunned. Some have retained their rugged charm and stayed at the top of Hollywood. Others were transformed entirely by life's upheavals, and some stars have left us forever. Would you still recognize them today? Let's uncover the truth and honor the legacies they left behind. Sandra Locke, as Lynn Halsey Taylor. Sandra Locke, born Sandra Louise Anderson on May 28, 1944 in Shelbyville, Tennessee, was 34 years old in 1978 when she played Lynn Halsey Taylor in Every Which Way But Loose, a seductive, ambitious country singer and the love interest of Philo Beddoe. This role, equal parts romantic and defiant, cemented Locke's presence on the big screen, bringing her closer to the public but also tying her name closely to Clint Eastwood, both professionally and personally. Behind the spotlight was a turbulent personal story. Locke and Eastwood lived together for 14 years in a relationship filled with passion, but also jealousy, control, and painful decisions. She underwent 2 abortions and a tubal ligation, later claiming it was because Eastwood did not want children. When they separated in 1989, Locke accused him of sabotaging her career, effectively blacklisting her in Hollywood. The lawsuits that followed dragged on for years, serving as both a grueling emotional ordeal and a way for her to reclaim her voice, but also causing severe damage to her standing in the film industry. Personal stress combined with career pressures took a toll on Locke's health. She was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1990, and although it went into remission, it returned and metastasized to her bones in 2015. On November 3, 2018, she died at her Los Angeles home at the age of 74 from cardiac arrest related to breast and bone cancer. Her ashes were cremated at Pierce Brothers Westwood Village Memorial Park and given to her legal husband, Gordon Anderson, her partner on paper for more than half a century. At the time of her death, her net worth was estimated at about $5 million, stemming mostly from her peak acting years, lawsuit settlements, and directing 4 films. Clint Eastwood as Philo Beddoe. Clint Eastwood Jr. was born on May 31, 1930 in San Francisco, California. In 1978, when he was 48 years old, he took on the role of Philo Beddoe in Every Which Way But Loose, a bare-knuckle brawler and truck driver who roams the roads with his orangutan Clyde, getting caught up in a series of mishaps both comedic and gritty. The role not only dominated the box office, but also reinforced Eastwood's Man of Steel image in the hearts of audiences worldwide. Yet behind the glamorous screen image was a personal life full of turbulence. Eastwood has had 2 official marriages but fathered 8 children with 6 different women, with several relationships overlapping and ending in high-profile lawsuits. He has remained tight-lipped about family matters, though the press has often revealed bitter breakups, such as with actress Sandra Locke, considered by many to be the great love of his life. Off-set, Eastwood has a reputation for being extremely frugal, even reportedly re-wearing old film costumes to save production costs, something that colleagues found both amusing and bewildering. Beyond his love life, he has faced public scrutiny for his conservative political views, most notably his controversial empty chair speech at the 2012 Republican National Convention. Known for his strict commitment to health, maintaining a disciplined diet, regular exercise, and avoiding hard liquor, Eastwood once narrowly survived a plane crash during military service, swimming more than 3 kilometers to shore. Such near-death experiences only strengthened his disciplined lifestyle and tireless work ethic. In 2025, at the age of 94, Clint Eastwood has yet to completely step away from filmmaking. He continues directing and producing, most recently with Juror No. 2, 2024, while also running the Mission Ranch Hotel and Restaurant in Carmel by the Sea. With an estimated net worth of $375 million, built from his career as an actor, director, producer, and his Malpaso production company, Eastwood remains living proof of a Hollywood legend untouched by time. Beverly D'Angelo as Echo. Beverly Heather D'Angelo was born on November 15, 1951, in Columbus, Ohio. In 1978, at the age of 27, she played Echo in Every Which Way But Loose, the girlfriend of Orville, bringing warmth and sincerity to the film. Though it was a supporting role, she left a memorable emotional mark. Soon after, D'Angelo became a familiar face in American cinema, especially for her role as Ellen Griswold in the hit comedy series National Lampoon's Vacation. Her career shone with many beloved comedic roles, but behind the scenes, her personal life was full of turbulence. Her marriage to Italian aristocrat Don Lorenzo Salviati was only the beginning of a string of high-profile romances. Most notable was her time with Oscar-winning production designer Anton Furst, a relationship that seemed perfect but ended in heartbreak when he took his own life in 1991. Still grieving, D'Angelo met Al Pacino in the late 1990s, beginning one of Hollywood's most famous love stories. In 2001, they welcomed twins through IVF, but their happiness did not last. Conflicts led to a breakup and a tense custody battle, a chapter in her life filled with stress and emotional strain that she faced with resilience. Even in those stormy years, D'Angelo's free-spirited and optimistic personality made her well-loved by colleagues. On the set of Every Which Way But Loose, she once accidentally spilled coffee on the director's script, turning an awkward moment into laughter when the whole crew burst out laughing. Off-set, she often hummed country tunes, drawing others to join in. Her love for keepsakes meant she occasionally borrowed small props to take home, a running joke among her colleagues for years. This warmth, charm, and free spirit helped her maintain creative energy amid life's ups and downs. In 2025, at the age of 73, Beverly D'Angelo is still active in the entertainment industry, appearing in both television and film. With an estimated net worth of around $20 million, earned from decades of steady work and commercial success, she stands as proof of a talented and strong-willed actress who has turned personal challenges into fuel for a career lasting nearly half a century. Ruth Gordon as Ma. Ruth Gordon Jones was born on October 30, 1896, in Quincy, Massachusetts. At the age of 82, she appeared in Every Which Way But Loose, 1978, as Ma, Philo's sharp-tongued yet loving mother, delivering humor that felt authentic and true to life. With her distinctive nasal voice and ageless charm, Gordon turned the character into an unforgettable highlight, continuing a film career that spanned more than 6 decades. Her life, however, was far from as lighthearted as the laughter she brought to audiences. In 1921, she married actor Gregory Kelly, but happiness was short-lived when he died of heart disease just 6 years later, leaving her alone amid touring productions. The heartbreak had barely begun to heal when in 1929, her relationship with producer Jed Harris put her under public scrutiny after she became pregnant out of wedlock, a scandalous matter at the time. She remained steadfast, raising her son, Jones Harris, under the watchful eyes of a judgmental society, while immersing herself in stage and screen work to escape the pressure. Her career suffered setbacks due to illness, including a painful surgery to correct bow legs, but Gordon always came back stronger, channeling her personal pain into sharp, compelling performances. On August 28, 1985, Ruth Gordon died at her summer home in Edgartown, Massachusetts, after a stroke at the age of 88. Her husband, writer Garson Kanan, said that on the morning of her passing, she was still working on a new play, went for a walk, and chatted as usual before leaving peacefully. Her estimated $10 million net worth, earned from decades of acting, screenwriting, and prestigious awards including an Academy Award, stands as a testament to a lifetime of dedication. James McEachin as Herb. James McEachin was born on May 20, 1930 in Rennert, North Carolina. When he was 48 years old, he appeared in Every Which Way But Loose, 1978, as Herb, a calm, tough police officer who brought a sense of balance between order and chaos in the story. Although the role was not central, it reflected McEachin's real-life character, disciplined, straightforward, and shaped by years of military service. Before entering the film industry, his life had already brushed against death. During an ambush in the Korean War, McEachin was severely wounded and was almost left for dead. As one of only 2 survivors, he returned with the Silver Star, the Purple Heart, and the Combat Infantryman Badge, along with painful memories that never faded. After the war, he struggled to readjust to civilian life, working as a firefighter, police officer, and music producer before finding his way to acting. Each career change brought its own challenges, as wartime injuries and the pressure to make a living constantly loomed over him. In 1960, McEachin married Lois Emma Davis, the woman who became his rock for nearly 6 decades. But the marriage was not without its difficulties. Long filming schedules kept him away from home for extended periods, leaving his wife to care for their 3 children alone. The prolonged absences sometimes caused tension, yet Lois patiently kept the family together. McEachin once admitted that without her, he might not have been able to maintain both his career and his home life. When Lois passed away in 2017, the void became the greatest loss of his life, pushing him toward writing and tribute projects such as Old Glory to fill the emptiness. On January 11, 2025, James McEachin passed away at the age of 94, closing nearly a century of service to both the arts and the military. His estimated net worth of $8 million earned from acting, writing, and military arts projects stood as a testament to his resilience and steadfastness. Jeffrey Lewis as Orville. Jeffrey Bond Lewis was born on July 31, 1935 in Plainfield, New Jersey, and grew up in Wrightwood, California. When he was 43 years old, he played Orville in Every Which Way But Loose, 1978, Philo's humorous, witty, yet warm-hearted older brother, delivering everyday moments that contrasted with the film's adrenaline-fueled adventures. With his natural style and distinctive comedic charm, the role of Orville became one of the film's highlights and solidified Lewis's long-standing collaboration with Clint Eastwood in many later works. Lewis's path to the arts was far from easy. Before gaining recognition, he worked a variety of jobs, from truck driving to manual labor, to support his dream of acting. After studying drama in New York, he still struggled to find opportunities in Hollywood throughout the 1960s, often taking small guest roles in series such as Bonanza and Gunsmoke. Even so, his persistence gradually earned him notice, especially for his portrayals of villains or eccentric characters, which he brought to life with a mix of familiarity and unpredictability. His personal life was even more turbulent than his career. Lewis married 3 times and had 9 children, including actress Juliette Lewis. His marriages were frequently strained by an intense work schedule and constant travel for filming. He once admitted that trying to balance a large family with a constantly moving career often left him exhausted. But his family was also the driving force that kept him from giving up. In his later years, his health declined due to Parkinson's disease and dementia, which made his public appearances increasingly rare. On April 7, 2015, Jeffrey Lewis died at the age of 79 from a heart attack while exercising at the Motion Picture and Television Country House and Hospital. According to his son, Lewis had battled Parkinson's and dementia for many years. His estimated net worth of around $6 million, built from a long and dedicated acting career, was a fitting reward for a lifetime of commitment to his craft. Judson Scott as Biker. Judson Ernie Scott was born on July 15, 1952, in Azusa, California. When he was 26 years old, he appeared in Every Which Way But Loose, 1978, as a member of the Black Widow motorcycle gang, contributing to the chaotic and high-speed chase scenes that brought intense excitement to the film. Although the role was small, it marked an important turning point, helping him transition from stage and television to the big screen and paving the way for more prominent roles later on, most notably in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, the film that introduced his name to audiences around the world. Behind his cool, tough image on screen was a man constantly torn between artistic ideals and professional pressures. Scott, a formerly trained actor from Juilliard, was highly demanding of himself and often engaged in debates with directors to defend his interpretation of a character. This perfectionism allowed him to deliver powerful performances, but it also caused many opportunities to slip away. After his peak years, he had to face the disappointment of dwindling roles, shifting audience tastes, and a Hollywood industry that was increasingly unforgiving toward actors no longer in their prime. When he stepped away from the spotlight, Scott chose a private life, occasionally appearing at fan events dedicated to science fiction. By 2025, at the age of 72, he remained in good health, but his long journey in the industry had left its marks of pressure and solitude. His estimated net worth of around $4 million, the result of decades of tireless work, now serves as a safe cushion for a peaceful life after years spent chasing fame. John Quaid as Chola. John Quaid was born on April 1, 1938 in Kansas City, Kansas. When he was 40 years old, he left an unforgettable mark as Chola, the leader of the Black Widows motorcycle gang in Every Which Way But Loose, 1978. With his rugged appearance, piercing eyes, and natural acting style, Quaid became a top choice for gritty villain roles that were both humorous and infuriating, adding a distinct flavor to Clint Eastwood's film. Few know that before rising to fame, Quaid endured a long and varied journey, from football player to railroad repairman to aerospace engineer, before being discovered in a Pasadena restaurant. Yet the glamour of Hollywood could not hide the hardships he faced. During action scenes, particularly in the chase and fight sequences, he suffered several serious back injuries that forced him to temporarily step away from work. The stress of a packed filming schedule and the pressure to deliver the perfect villain image often made him irritable and prone to conflict. His marriage was far from smooth, as long periods away from home created a deep rift with his family, leaving him with a lasting sense of regret. On August 9, 2009, while sleeping at his home in Rosamond, California, John Quaid passed away at the age of 71 from a heart attack, leaving behind an estimated net worth of about $5 million, the result of decades of dedication to film and television. His sudden passing shocked fans, but the image of Chola, with his defiant grin, continues to live on as an unforgettable part of cinematic memory. Thomas Rosales Jr. as Young Trucker. Thomas Rosales Jr. was born on February 3, 1948, in El Paso, Texas. When he was 30 years old, he appeared in the role of Young Trucker in 1978. A small part, but one that was part of his long journey to prove himself in the harsh world of cinema. Audiences often recognized Rosales as a criminal, a prisoner, or a character who was taken down in an instant. But behind those on-screen falls was a career built with blood, sweat, and sometimes real blood. From his early stunt work in Battle for the Planet of the Apes, 1973, Rosales threw himself into dangerous, uncompromising action sequences. He took part in the intense gunfight scenes of Scarface, faced terrifying creatures in Predator 2, and ran for his life in the chaos of the lost world Jurassic Park. However, not everything went smoothly. In one truck chase scene, he was involved in a direct collision. Luckily, just a minor shock, but enough to remind him of the thin line between movie magic and real-life danger. Many colleagues have recalled that Rosales would sometimes daringly attempt stunts that hadn't been officially approved, earning both admiration and concern from directors. Off-camera, Rosales's life was equally eventful. His first marriage to Charlene Jones ended after 14 years, leaving them with 2 children. Later, he found happiness with Joyce Johnston, with whom he had 2 more children. Even at the age of 77, Rosales has maintained the toughness of someone who has faced hundreds of explosions, falls, and grueling shoots that left him exhausted. He once said that the feeling of standing up after each time being knocked down on screen was what made him feel truly alive. With an estimated net worth of about $7 million from his enduring stunt and acting career, Thomas Rosales Jr. is not only a familiar face in action films, but also a living testament to courage and perseverance. Though his young trucker role years ago was fleeting, the mark he has left on the film industry is undeniable. Bill McKinney as Dallas. William Dennison McKinney was born on September 12, 1931, in Chattanooga, Tennessee. When he was 47 years old, he played Dallas, leader of the Black Widow gang, delivering a fierce and menacing presence that was hard to forget. Thanks to this role, McKinney went on to land other successful parts, haunting global audiences with his portrayal of the brutal mountain man in Deliverance, 1972, and leaving a strong mark in Clint Eastwood's films such as The Outlaw Josie Wales, Every Which Way But Loose, and The Gauntlet. However, behind the spotlight was a life filled with hardships and scars. McKinney's childhood was a series of constant moves, changing homes 12 times before he turned 18. He joined the Navy during the Korean War, serving on a minesweeper in perilous waters, before returning with a dream of becoming an actor. To make a living, he worked in tree planting and care while studying at the Pasadena Playhouse alongside classmates who would later become famous, such as Dustin Hoffman. His career flourished with villain roles that made him highly sought after, but it also pulled his private life into a spiral of pressure and loneliness, with marriages that ended in divorce, leaving him with only one son. In his later years, McKinney found new joy in music, releasing the album Love Songs from Entree and continuing to act, even as his health began to decline. The 25-year smoking habit of his youth had left severe consequences: esophageal cancer that silently progressed, draining his strength day by day. On December 1, 2011, Bill McKinney passed away at his home in San Fernando, California, at the age of 80. He left behind an estimated net worth of about $6 million and a legacy of dozens of unforgettable roles that made audiences both fear and admire him. Gregory Walcott as Putnam. Gregory Walcott was born on January 13, 1928, in Wendell, North Carolina. When he was 50 years old, he played Putnam, a humorous police officer in Every Which Way But Loose, 1978, standing out with his natural acting style and bringing comedy to the film. Although it was not a leading role, Walcott's presence still left a strong impression, while his name also remained associated with the cult classic Plan 9 from Outer Space. However, behind the glow of his career, Walcott faced no shortage of difficulties in life. After completing his military service in both World War II and the Korean War, he began pursuing acting. Although he started with small roles in westerns, Walcott gradually proved his talent through supporting parts. Yet the long and demanding filming schedules often kept him away from his family and placed strain on his marriage. His union with Barbara Mae Watkins lasted 55 years, but his busy career meant he missed many important family moments, leaving quiet gaps in his personal life. On March 20, 2015, Gregory Walcott passed away at his home in Canoga Park, California, at the age of 87. He died of natural causes, leaving behind an estimated net worth of about $4 million and a solid artistic legacy. From minor roles to memorable moments in major films, Walcott lived fully for his craft, forever remembered as a resilient and passionate supporting actor. William O'Connell as Elmo. William O'Connell was born on May 12, 1929, in Los Angeles, California. When he was 49 years old, he portrayed Elmo, a member of the Black Widow gang in Every Which Way But Loose, 1978, a clumsy figure who still brought bitter laughs amid tense confrontations. Though the role was small, it became a highlight, reminding audiences of O'Connell's signature wit in the series of films tied to Clint Eastwood. Behind those laughs, O'Connell's life was not without its darker moments. After serving in the U.S. Army's 45th Infantry Division during the Korean War, he carried with him the harsh memories of the battlefield, something colleagues sometimes noticed in the faraway look in his eyes during filming breaks. His career spanned both film and television, with dozens of guest appearances in Star Trek, Rawhide, and Quincy M.E. Yet the pressure of work and the irregular pace of life often left him tired and quick-tempered. O'Connell's marriage also faced many challenges, as the packed filming schedules frequently kept him away from his family, creating distances that were hard to bridge. On January 15, 2024, William O'Connell passed away peacefully at his home in Sherman Oaks, California, at the age of 94. He left behind an estimated net worth of about $3 million, the result of decades of dedication as a colorful and memorable supporting face on screen. Walter Barnes as Tank Murdoch. Walter Lee Barnes, January 26, 1918, January 6, 1998, also known as Piggy, was an American professional football guard turned actor, best remembered for his role as Tank Murdoch in Every Which Way But Loose, 1978. He appeared in numerous spaghetti westerns and pirate films, often working alongside Clint Eastwood in roles that highlighted his commanding screen presence. Despite his success, Barnes's life was not without personal struggles. His marriage to German actress Britta Wendel ended in divorce in 1968, and he later battled health problems caused by diabetes. His career began with small television parts, blossomed after his move to Europe, but faced hurdles as he aged. By the late 1980s, his health was in decline, and he retired from acting in 1987. Diabetes brought further complications, and in his later years, Barnes resided at the Motion Picture and Television Retirement Home. Even as his health worsened, he continued to enjoy life, though his love for sweets often worried friends and colleagues. Walter Barnes passed away on January 6, 1998, at the age of 79 from complications related to diabetes. His estimated net worth at the time of his death was $4 million, a testament to his wide-ranging career in both sports and acting. Barnes left behind a legacy as a versatile figure who made a remarkable transition from the football field to the silver screen, leaving his imprint on both American and European cinema. So, after nearly half a century, how do you see the cast of Every Which Way But Loose today? Which face surprised you the most, and which story touched your heart the deepest? Share your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe so we can continue exploring the emotional journeys behind the silver screen.